Hey, I wanted to emphasize on why I called one of my videos awareness is the alpha and the omega. The alpha and the omega are just the first and the last letter of the Greek alphabet. So that would just mean or imply that awareness is the beginning and the end as well. Well, why is this? Well, simply put, um, well, so to speak, you live this finite human life until you find out who you really are. You come across a YouTube video or someone in your family knows about this or whatever, it doesn't really matter, okay? But the thing is, okay, so you were, so to speak, asleep. Now, you sort of awoken, you know, to your true self. But the thing is, you still have to believe, so to speak, that awareness, you could say God, but it's all the same thing, is the true you, the true self. You know, well, for example, Ramana Maharshi came up with so to speak, a technique or meditation just to prove this to you, so to speak. And it simply is, I am that I am, or in this case, the human asking itself, you are awareness, but in the finite human little mind, you are starting to ask yourself, you're going to sit in silence, in stillness, no distractions, phone off, everything, and you start to, well, inquire, it's self-inquiry, so to speak. So you're going to find out, who you really are. And you can simply do this by asking, who am I? And the thing is, you cannot really, or not at all, answer this with a question or with an answer at all. So who am I? You cannot say the body. You cannot say thoughts, feelings, emotions, the mind, the brain. All of these are seen by the observer, so to speak. So the thing you have to do, so to speak, if you don't understand who you really are, is become aware of being aware, becoming conscious of being consciousness, observing the, so to speak, silent observer, because the awareness, aka the observer, just means that, well, the observer implies that there is someone or something, or we can't even give it a name because it's the end and the beginning, beginning and the end. So awareness is everything. So ask yourself, who am I? And once again, you cannot answer this with an answer. Actually, you can only be aware right now for a second, or that's up to you how long you put your awareness on who you really are. And obviously you're here in the physical 3D reality, so consistently things around you might, so to say, snatch your awareness. It's still you inviting somebody to do it, so to speak, choosing to react, choosing to identify as something. But you are the observer, the silent observer. Since a baby, when you're in your, laying in your deathbed, it will all be the same awareness, the exact same awareness. And if you understand that, then you realize that the true self is awareness. No, like I just told, awareness is the alpha and the omega. So what does that imply? Well, you now are familiar with who you are, either by doing the meditation technique, already know who you are because you just understand who you are, or you've been in this information just like me. You've known about it for almost a decade. It doesn't really matter, It's up to you, so to speak. It's all you. You are the sole cause of the phenomena in your life. But get it through your head, so to speak. You are pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure observation, so to speak. This, seemingly consistently changing reality is, like I just said, consistently changing. And yes, it may seemingly appear that things are stuck or they don't move at all, but be assured, they all do. I mean, I'm just looking at nature right now, and it's in a constant change. The water is moving, the wind, which we can't even see, is also still here. I can't point at it, but it's still here. It's a force of nature, unlike time, because time is an illusion. Time does not exist. Clocks do. So yes, you can point at a clock and say, well, that is time. But if the, so to speak, the clock has a battery and it stops working, well, where's your time, so to speak? And then again, not even all clocks are similar, you know. Some of them are behind for like a minute or a few seconds, so that also implies that time isn't really a constant thing. It isn't a visible, tangible thing. It's a human made up concept, which, yes, once again may serve us in the, you know, physical 3D reality, but when it comes to reality creation, it won't serve you at all, because there is no time or space when it comes to reality creation. It's instantaneous by you putting your awareness on it. That makes it so. So that's what I mean by the alpha and the omega, because you become aware of this information. Now you understand who you really are. Now the only thing you still have to do is make a choice, and consistently. I mean, you obviously desire probably 1,000 things, maybe 10,000 things, so to speak. Whatever, big, small, you decide what it is. Now be bold enough, be courageous enough to claim who you really are right now. And all about the belief part, even that comes after awareness, you know. If you now become aware of, you know, somebody smiling at you or whatever, you probably don't really see that as a manifestation. But if you thought about it, and then later on, maybe the same day or later that week or whatever, that person did what you thought about, so to speak, you put your awareness on a person or whatever, and experience being the way it is, and that happened, well, you did that, you know, you created that, so to speak. Once again, you're not really creating anything. No, creation is finished, like scripture keeps telling us, and Neville Goddard, and I do as well, because it's such a really big understanding to understand that you're not really, you know, creating anything. It's all done right now. You just have to decide who you want to be. Put your awareness on, put the alpha and the omega, which is both awareness. So put your awareness on being who you want to be right now, and keep doing it, or just let it go, understanding that by you deciding it, it has to show up in your reality, so to speak. So choose, decide right now. Let us go into silence.